I killed my own younger brother just to avoid your invitation to the prom.
I'd love to go, Meg, but I have to go to my little brother's funeral that night.
With the school prom approaching, the ugly Meg still couldn't find a prom date. Desperate about this, she decided to commit suicide. Brian was very worried about Meg. Helplessly, he had to sacrifice himself and be her prom date. On the day of prom, Meg was very excited. Brian, on the other hand, numbed himself with a large amount of alcohol, trying to forget Meg's appearance. At the prom, the classmates, as always, mocked Meg for her ugliness. And at this time, Brian, taking advantage of being drunk, stepped up for Meg and severely humiliated the classmates.
Connie, you're popular because you developed early and started putting out when you were 12, but now you can't stand to look at yourself in the mirror because all you see is a whore. So you pick on Meg to avoid the inevitable realization that once your body's used up by age 19, you're gonna be a worn-out, chalky-skinned burlap sack that even your stepdad won't want. How's that? Am I in the ballpark?
Meg also fell in love with this white dog because of this. At that moment, alcohol made Brian lose his mind. On impulse, he kissed Meg. Since prom, Meg has been completely obsessed with Brian. She kept inviting Brian to have meals, go shopping, and have dates. But Brian regretted his impulse. He tried every means to avoid going out with Meg. His excuses were easily exposed. Brian could only be forced to go on a date with Meg. When they met an acquaintance, Meg introduced Brian as her boyfriend. This made Brian extremely embarrassed. In order to never have such a dating experience again, Brian planned to clearly reject Meg. But as soon as he entered Meg's room, Brian was so frightened that he almost lost his wits. The whole room was filled with intimate pictures of Meg and Brian. In shock, Brian still didn't forget his original intention. He firmly rejected Meg. Just when we thought it was all over, Meg took advantage of Brian not paying attention, knocked him out, and kidnapped him to a hotel. Not long after, Lois noticed the disappearance of the two of them and immediately called the police. Just 1 second before Meg forced Brian to have sex, the police broke down the door and saved this poor dog. And Meg also received due counseling. It's just that the counselor is